the show that takes you behind the scenes of your favorite tunes. Get ready to meet the legends shaping the sound. Each week, we're bringing you exclusive interviews with the movers, shakers, and hit makers of the industry. From chart-topping artists to the unsung heroes behind the scenes, Urban Access connects you to the stories and sounds you love. Stay tuned. Your all-access pass to music's inner circle starts now.
All right, this is Peggy D. I am here today with Urban Access Entertainment, and this is a real honor for me, to speak with you, Curtis F. Williams.
That's me, Fitzgerald.
That's right, that's
Yeah.
right. So you are the musical director for Kool in the Game.
Yes. Yes, I am.
So wow, I mean, let's sit back and talk about that. But yeah, I know we're going to segue, to George,
Okay, of
to
course.
George
All right.
Brown, because he was the founder of Kool in the Gang,
That's
correct?
right. Yeah, yeah. One of the is it six original? Yeah, just one of the
Six, the
originals.
originals. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I was just recently with oh God, Blue Magic and a whole
Oh,
bunch
man.
of other classic soul groups.
Yeah.
They were in Atlantic City, and they were
Okay.
receiving their Walk of Fame. And Phyllis Hyman was there. I mean, her family was there. She wasn't
Oh,
there, but
right, right, right. Yes.
she received the star too, and the
Okay.
Stylistics and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I know.
Yeah. That's my extended family. I love classic
Okay.
soul. I love music, and I want to get into this. I am a musician, and so this was great when Anna said, "Listen, let's go with it." And I really am very very interested in the segue with the album.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so first of all, let's
Yeah.
let everybody know who you are and what you do and how long you've been with Kool in the Gang.
All right. Well, again, I am Curtis F. Williams, F for Fitzgerald. Music director, keyboardist, alto saxophonist now, and
Ooh,
been with Kool and the Gang since October of 1981. So it'll be all of those years. I joined at 18. So
wow, you did.
yes, I did. Yeah. And I had attended, I was actually at Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Oh
Uh,
wow, awesome.
and yeah, went right from Boston to in my second semester, about a month in, got a call, and I had met the guys
Hmm.
through a very close friend that I consider family. That's
Hmm.
actually close cousins to Robert and Ronald Bell, and we went to a concert in Buffalo, New York. Well, I'm from Buffalo, so we went to the concert in Toronto, and
Okay.
he had already. His name is Tony Johnson. He had already mentioned to Ronald Bell, Khalid's band. Uh,
Right, right, right.
mentioned me to him, and so I went to the show with Tony and got to meet the guys backstage, and then subsequently had a sit
Hmm.
down a little bit with Ronald Bell, and then he was very drawn to my jazz background, having studied at Berkeley and my
Yeah.
appreciation and love for jazz. That really appealed to all of them, because that's how they, started with jazz. So with the original name Jazzy Acts for Kool and the Gang, how about that? Um,
Wow, wow, that's awesome.
yeah. So not too long after that moment, that was in the summer, I got back to school for my semester, and about a month in, I got a call from the road manager. They want you to come to Europe. So, and the rest,
Wow,
everything,
wow.
and I guess the
That
rest
is
is
it.
history, as they say. Yeah. And that was
Yeah.
1981.
Wow. So, and you've been with them ever since.
Yes. Yeah. I
So,
did have some stints away from traveling. I did some production and writing on my own. I
mhm.
also was Casey and Sunshine Band for about 8 years. So,
Oh no, you were. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Did you ever write anything with them? Were you ever
I
write
didn't
any
do oh,
songs?
actually, I did do one song with Casey, like this up-tempo track. No, it was, actually a mid ballad, and,
Hmm.
ended up being I started out as just playing keyboards, but, David Cabrera was the music director when I joined. He's now
Hmm.
with Ricky Martin.
Hmm.
He's an awesome guitarist. So
Yeah,
Dave
he is.
Cabrera, guitarist, and he's MD for Ricky Martin forever. So once he left, they decided to have me MD that. So I was actually MD with Casey and the Sunshine Band too for about 8 years.
Wow. For
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. That's completely awesome. So that your history has spanned from jazz to like R&B to like
Okay.
dance music, or
Oh yeah.
disco. And I always talk about the similarities to dance music and disco and and jazz
Oh
or
yeah.
just regular music because of the orchestrations. I was listening to a night over Egypt.
Oh yeah.
It was who redid it? It was oh my God. They redid the vocals, but they had the track, but it was like
Okay.
a house thing, but it was the
Oh wow.
orchestration was so dope because they had strings, they had
Oh yeah.
harps, they
Yeah.
had everything in there. And that's the one thing about that time where you could just really, the orchestrations, you had like this boom, boom, boom beat, and then you had, strings. And I was
Yeah.
saying,
The
the
hustle.
strings must be having a great time in that,
Oh yeah.
you know,
For sure.
you know, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, we've actually done many shows with orchestras throughout the world. And
yeah.
yeah, they have a good time playing the pop music as they call it. And it's
Yeah,
amazing to hear to
yeah.
do an orchestra but with like Ladies Night and Fresh and oh particularly Cherish. That's
I'm,
so beautiful.
you know what? The songs. I mean, Kool and the Gang is an iconic group where you've raised people, you've
Yeah.
helped people. I mean, people have made babies with you, your songs. You've made people happy. You've made
Oh
people
yeah.
cry and emote. And one of the songs that you celebrate, that is
Oh
a
yeah.
iconic song because it's so uplifting. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Just, how does it make you feel to be a part of something like this? Right out of the gate, because I didn't know that you were right out of the gate with Kool
Yeah.
and the Gang. And so you're a part of that whole fabric of that
Yeah.
sound.
Well, it's definitely an honor. It's so exciting. I've been able to see the world,
Mm-hmm.
and when I saw them the first time before joining, and the
Mm-hmm.
crowd was going crazy, I was like, oh man, this is amazing. That's
Of
amazing.
course.
Um, and just the aspect of the joy that we bring
Mm-hmm.
is such a blessing. We're blessed to be able to do it, and then we receive so much joy, and it's covers every demographic, all age groups. We have shows where the literal people holding toddler or babies, and then
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
well up. I call them seasoned. I will say, oh, elders, seasoned. Well,
Yeah. They're seasoned because
yeah, yeah,
that's what it is.
and
Yeah.
it's just really, really exciting and a blessing and a joy always. And people say, well, aren't you tired of it? And yeah, some of the travel can be daunting. Like we actually have
Yeah.
a show, a private show on June 1st,
Yeah.
leaving Thursday for
Mhm.
Kazakhstan. So it's a long way away. And
Wow. Wow.
one private show. But once we get where we're going, you rest up, and then people like to party with Kool and the Gang, and it's just a wonderful feeling. I don't get to
It's
do that.
it's
So
it's it's a whole party with you, and
yeah.
but it's also real musicality. One of the
Oh
things
yeah.
that has
Yeah.
been missing in the industry as of late, which I'm so happy that you all are still. You remind me of, like, New Jersey. I mean, the Isley Brothers. How many
Yeah.
people? I mean, how many people have come out of this area up here in New York and New Jersey, and such New Jersey especially, so iconic groups, and Whitney Houston and Dionne Warwick. I
Right.
call Dion my auntie. I just love her.
Uh,
She's like,
oh
what? She's
yeah.
an 80 something, and she's still
Yeah. Yeah.
performing.
Yep.
And it's so awesome to see her. And
Yeah. Ooh.
how what's the difference? Or for me, I think I'm a musician. I would think it'd be musicality. But tell me what keeps in reference to the audience, how different are they now versus back then? Or is there any difference?
Well, what I've been garnering with people's reaction, and I get to interact with people. Sometimes people obviously there's friends and family that can end up at shows, but most of the time it's just people you don't know. What
Hmm.
we hear so often is we really love to see and hear the real musicians, because what has happened, and that's just the advent of the industry. You have
Right.
artists. It's not always the younger artists, but some of the younger artists don't put bands together. They just kind of have more tracks. They might have a few musicians and then the tracks. And people really like seeing like musicians. They like hearing the organic
Yeah.
sound of bass and drums and horns and,
Mhm.
guitars, like all of that stuff. And
Mhm.
so that's the difference because there's so much more of the track backing with artists that people are just like really refreshing. It's refreshing for them to like see a full band. We have 10 people up there. And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. You have horns and
that's it.
everything. I
Oh
love
yeah.
that.
Yep.
I remember the back in the days when you had the Earth, Wind, and Fires were still around, but you had Chicago, and you had
Ooh,
all of
yeah.
those bands
Yeah.
that really had musicians on them, Sting,
Oh yeah.
and they're still around, but what happened was it was replaced, I think, for a moment, because I think what I'm feeling is that music is coming back.
Oh yeah.
People really want to hear music, and it's just a spiritual thing. It brings us together. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Yeah. And then when people see our show, because it's very energetic, and then they see all the interaction with the musician, we have a great time. It's really a fun
I've
show.
seen you. I've
Oh,
seen.
okay.
I've
All
been.
right. You know
I
what's up.
know. No, you know me.
Yeah.
I listen. I don't just
Yeah.
listen. I go to concerts, and I've
Oh,
been.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I met Ron Bell, and it's just I just jumped up and down. Just the music itself is uplifting. It's in a
Yeah.
different key. It's versus some music that it's in another type of key that makes you feel another way. The
Right.
music that you all do makes you feel gleeful and happy and gives
Yeah.
you a feeling. And I think people really need that today more so than
Absolutely.
anything because of what's going on. People
Yeah.
really want to feel good about what's going on and with themselves and in the world. And music does that.
Absolutely. Well, and it exactly that. So sure, there's the cliche, it's a universal language, but it really is because we
Yeah.
do shows throughout the world, and
Hmm.
wherever it is, we were just in Virginia, the Jacksonville Jazz Festival there, Florida. So,
Hmm.
and you're just watching people together, just enjoying
Yeah.
themselves of
Yeah.
all walks of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
Exactly.
issues. And why can't we live like that? If we could go to a show like that, it's almost like my mom jokingly says, "Boy, if we just had one big dance song and let everybody hear it in their head, and it'd just cover the, you know what I mean? Like
It
if
would.
a
There'd be
big
no
dance,
wars
because
or anything.
no one trips at it when they're
It's
listening to music
it's true.
together.
It's
Yeah,
true. It's true. I'm up in Harlem here, and
yeah.
I'm on 125th Street. And
Okay.
when I walk down, all you hear is classic soul. You hear Kool and the Gang. You can hear, I mean, wow, back in the day, I mean, they still play that music because it's real music. I don't
Yep.
really call it, was classic soul, but it's soul music from the soul.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's not, and it's classic, but there's nothing old about it because for me, it renews your spirit every time you
Yeah.
hear it.
That's right.
and
That's
and
right.
and that's what music is all about. And I think music should be used for that,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll do more of that. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about your background as a musician,
Oh yeah.
and as far as jazz is concerned. Of course, I love jazz. I grew up singing Billie Holiday and Ella
Yeah.
Fitzgerald and all that kind of stuff. But I actually listened to the track, George's track, and this is a tribute, his last album, I take
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Jazz
and
in Paris record. Yeah, it's a beautiful record. Oh yeah.
yeah, it is. It reminds me. I mean, I feel a lot of Miles Davis in it
Yeah.
with the horn,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's really traditional jazz. So tell me your input on that album, and then I want to talk a little bit about your background as a jazz musician. I mean, you're a
Oh
keyboard
sure.
player. That's awesome. I love
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh thanks.
So, I mean,
What do you
I
play?
get really excited. So, well, I mean, when I really
Yeah.
talk to really classic, iconic musicians who are in the
Oh
industry,
goodness.
I'm
Oh,
very
thank you.
honored, really, really.
Well,
So,
what do you play? And thank you so much. What instrument are you?
I play the alto sax.
Oh, really?
Yes, I
Okay.
do. Since I was
Okay.
14, I play keyboards. I taught myself how
Okay.
to play guitar. And
Oh,
but
wow.
basically I'm a jazz singer.
Okay.
I've actually done house music and
Okay.
some R&B stuff, and
Uh-huh.
I was in a group with Lisa Fisher,
Oh,
with the
wow.
Shades of Love, and
Okay.
we grew up around Luther, so and Chaka. So I've been
Yeah.
and I know great musicians like
Yeah.
yourself. I'm totally completely honored,
Uh,
honored,
oh, thank
honored, honored.
oh, it's an honor to be able to do it with you. You're well
Yeah.
rounded. You cover a lot of genres right there. That's wonderful. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I love
so
music.
uh George Brown's Jazz in Paris. He had been working on it for 5 or 6 years. Did a
Hmm.
lot of stuff during the pandemic. things shut down, but the studios, he's got the studio at the house. So
Yeah.
he's very prolific as a creator and writer and just storyteller. And
Hmm.
I was involved with one of the tracks. I think the last track on the album is In the Land of Allah. So he had written that and conceived that, dedicated to Ronald Bell and his passing. Um, and it's just in the land of God, through.
Hmm.
So I played on that, and then some of the other songs I hadn't really played on.
Hmm.
Uh, so George had been working on it, and then he had his unfortunate passing, and his executive producer, and then George's wife was overseeing trying to get the project finished. So they
Hmm.
asked me to finish it, as a
Wow.
producer. And so I really hadn't heard anything. And then when I listened down for the first time with the engineer that George used for so many years,
Hmm.
Wolfgang Eichholz, and we co-produced it together. Um, I was just blown away, like, oh my gosh, this is because I hadn't heard anything. It was like I was away from it. They called me, let's see, we could do this. I said, I'd be honored to do it. And the songs
Hmm.
are just beautiful. But I could also hear right away where it needed to be finished. And one of the first things was adding the organic instruments. So for instance, all the trumpet
Yes.
here, the trumpets originally were on the keyboard. That was just how,
Really? Okay.
just to hear it, right?
Just to hear it, huh?
Yeah. You sequence a track and then you just
Hmm.
play the sound from your, virtual bank of sounds. Right away,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, we have to have trumpet do that. That's easy. If we put drums and acoustic bass and just bring a tenor player here, trombone is there, and just really add the organic elements. And then because George is obviously the original drummer for Kool and the Gang, but he also plays guitar, and he really got very, very deep on piano and keyboards. I will hear him just,
Wow.
because I joined in 1981, and then I would
Right.
hear George peck at the key piano, and where he evolved to in the decades, just constantly practicing with
Mm.
really beautiful piano playing. And
Wow.
so there's a track on there, Juliet, that just it's just him. Wolfgang, the engineer, was able to just capture him almost working out this piece of music that he had been working on. Beautiful
Hmm.
chords. And George didn't know he was being recorded. So that's one that's just
Really?
right. And like totally organic. But then he didn't really finish like you could hear where he just abruptly ended because he didn't know he was
Right.
playing. Or
Yeah. It didn't resolve. It didn't resolve
right,
itself, right?
exactly. That's
Yeah, yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Hmm.
So they was like, oh, but we need to somehow do it. So I actually do start playing the piano, and my approach was to try to do it in George's spirit, not play my style. I
Hmm.
mean, I have the way I play, but I wanted to capture it like him. So you almost can't tell where it's seamless. I wanted to make it as seamless.
Seamless.
So there's things like that. I added keyboards here, in there, added horns. We've got one of the best drummers in the world, Vinny Colaiuta. And
Hmm.
how about that? Where
Wow.
you have Vinny playing in the spirit of George Brown. the-
Hmm.
and Vinny was just so honored to be involved. He did like 6 songs, and that makes things. It just takes his swing on these songs. It's amazing, and his
Wow.
feel.
Yeah.
And that was just like exciting for me. I never even thought about it, like the drummer thing. And then one of my friends who's also helped produce my album that's ready for everybody, was
Oh,
saying,
it's
man,
coming out soon, coming out.
yeah, oh, yeah, I got some stuff ready. But
Okay, okay. Well, we
yeah,
gotta
we just
we
talked
gotta come
about
back again and talk about that.
oh, for sure, for sure. We
Yes.
just talked about the spirits meeting. Like you have this the icon that is past, and then the icon now just playing, and it's beautiful.
Wow.
Drums on the album. So
Mm.
it was just elements of that. Just really trying to stay in the spirit um of George, right? And to honor his legacy, absolutely. So I wanted to do things at the highest level possible, get some of the best musicians. And then I really love how Wolfgang mixed the record. It just sounds like you're in a cafe in the 50s. It
Wow.
sounds
That's
beautiful.
exactly what I felt.
Yeah, yeah. And that's
That's
what he was
exactly what I
going for
thought.
because it's called jazz in Paris, so it already has that elegance, right? That
Mm-hmm.
chic,
Mm-hmm.
elegant.
Mm-hmm.
I let my daughter hear some of the songs, and she just said right away, "It's like, oh, Daddy, I feel like I'm in a cafe," and
Wow.
she's 30, and it just took her there.
Wow.
We wanted to stay right in that spirit, not step away from it at all, because it's really beautiful, harmonic and melodic structures, really amazing music. So
Yeah.
honored to be able to get it done, and we're very happy with it. I think he'd be proud too, looking down and just
Oh my goodness. What I heard was,
yeah,
I'm a musician
yeah.
and a singer rather. And when you from the first chords,
Oh
from
yeah,
the first bars, I was there.
yeah,
It draws you in. It
yeah,
draws
yeah,
you in organically, or that organic jazz feeling that is like zoom, you're right there in it. It's like
yeah, yeah.
hypnotic.
I
It's hard.
appreciate
That's
that.
that you have to feel that from the soul in order
Yeah.
to get others to feel it as well.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what was inside George. He's so prolific. I mean, think about it. This is a guy that wrote Ladies Night, but no,
Yeah.
yeah, they
And
have
you
that.
went straight to jazz. Yeah.
That's in all those guys. That was like I said, their beginnings, their origin was jazz music. I mean, jazz as a jazz group with the name
Mhm.
Jazzy Acts. That was their original name.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I know I was in the studio once with Emilio Estefan, and
Ooh.
he's a master, and I was just talking to him because I love to learn. I'm a sponge.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of the things he said to me, he said, Peggy, music is music. He said,
Yeah,
I've done all types of music. It's like it crossed the board. He says it's about the soul. It's
exactly.
about the soul.
Yep.
And I said, this is a
Yeah, that's it.
master telling me that this is what it is.
Yeah, I have a little mantra, my own little thing where it's like, more feeling, less structure. You gotta have structure, I know that, but just
Yeah.
let the feeling lead you. Let that feeling lead you, and
You,
that's so from the soul. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
it.
you have to. And so who are some of the other musicians that played on the album?
I have
I've
the trumpet player that I use on everything is Mike Cordone, and he's toured with
heard
oh
of him.
yeah, he's just
Everybody.
yeah, he's been with everybody. I can't think of anybody, but he's been with everybody.
Everybody.
I mean,
That's
Pitbull, Usher, you just start naming people, and he was right there. He's
yeah.
also the current music director, arranger for The Masked Singer. So if you ever, all those artists have to do that. And that's just my guy. Like, he just he's amazing. So all the trumpet
Wow.
out there. I did mention Vinnie Colaiuta,
Mm-hmm.
he used
Mm-hmm.
Anissa Strings on acoustic bass, and she's out right now doing she finished her EP, so she's touring with doing some big stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
her Instagram thing is Anissa Strings. So if you look up Anissa Strings, you'll see what's up with her.
I will. I
Yeah,
will.
she's on
Yeah,
my
I've heard.
house. She's amazing. Singing, acoustic bass, electric bass,
Mhm.
amazing. So she's on there. Um, I can't remember the name of the guy that does all the beautiful percussion and playing the ethnic instruments on in the land of
Bashiri?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know that's my extended family?
Wow.
Bashiri
Yeah,
Johnson.
yeah.
Bashiri, actually, I was going to mention Bashiri to you. He's
Okay.
he's one of those guys that's played with everybody
Yeah.
that you can mention, and
Yeah.
he's
So there.
actually taken me back into the studio to finish my
Oh,
project as well. He is awesome. He is
yeah,
one of the
yeah,
most awesome percussionists in the world.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
Philip Whack on tenor sax, on some of the horn parts, but then he takes a crazy solo on the song with the French name, Jardin de Lapin. It's
Oh
like
wow.
uh Rabbit Garden. So that's actually one. So George wrote there's 11 songs. He wrote nine, and
Mm-hmm.
there are two songs written by a couple of like there's the cat, which is just a bumping organ groove. When you
Yeah.
get into it, yeah, that thing, and that's Louis Van Taylor who's playing brilliant sax woodwinds, the tenor sax, alto sax, soprano,
Mm-hmm.
bass,
Wow.
that flute. He's really got one of my favorite song. I mean, I have a lot of favorite. I just love it, the whole thing. But
Mm-hmm.
uh oh, why can't I think of the title now? My da- 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 da. It's not Juliet. I'm humming Juliet. It'll come to me. But there's a song that the chords are just beautiful, and there's this
Mm.
interplay of interwoven woodwinds with the piano and the strings. Oh man. Oh, Francis. Francis.
Ah, okay, okay,
It's
okay.
is my
Wow.
so Louis Van Taylor wrote The Cat, which is just a trio. Is tenor sax
Oh my God.
and organ.
Uh,
That thing bumps, boy.
oh, you had organ. Was it? Oh, Hammond. Hammond B.
Yep. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. This is really cool.
That
So he
sounds like
wrote
a
that
little
one.
house tune.
Oh, it could be like,
I could be about that with the Hammond. Yeah.
and then I did the other one with the French name Jardin de La Pente, and then it has a
Hmm.
really amazing tenor solo on there. And
Hmm.
what was fun
Hmm.
too is we didn't get to play together on the stuff. Everybody's overdubbing, but on a
Right.
couple of the songs for like one of the tenor solos and a couple trumpet solos, even though the tracks were there, those solo sections, I actually comped under them. So it felt like we were in a club. So it was really, really cool. And
Wow.
we could just play off each other, right? It was like organic, like hit record, and I was just playing under, like
Wow.
playing with them. So that was really cool.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, you definitely feel it. You feel
Right.
the whole organic of it, and I love the fact that you have R&B and then you have the jazz and the bridging of that.
Oh yeah.
That seems to be happening today. What's his name does it? He's going to kill me for forgetting his name, but he's Robert Glasper. Robert
Oh yeah.
Glasper
Oh yeah.
does he's taken jazz to he's connected jazz to R&B because of the
Right.
singers, because of the music and musicality of it, and it's really has expanded the audience for that genre. Jazz is an American iconic, a piece that's been created here by us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
And for you to be a jazz artist and segue to R&B, it's almost like, like the gospel call and response is like the backbone of everything. And then
Right.
it evolves. Everything, all music has evolved from call and response, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, my opinion, from bebop to soul to,
Yeah.
jazz, and you
Right.
have R&B and all that kind of stuff. And then even dance music and
Oh yeah.
you have you have that gospel, you get Martha Wash in there and
Ooh,
all
wow.
those
Oh
singers
yeah.
in there, and you
Oh
take you
yeah.
back to church.
Yeah.
And that's really, you see the crossover of music and the intersections of it, and it's so beautiful.
Oh yeah. But I think about what you said, Emilio Estevez mentioned to you. Music is music.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
play it together. One of the things that I'm just open, right? And I
Hmm.
could tell sometimes our jazz guys back decades ago. So, I was in school, and
Hmm.
sometimes they would kind of look, it's like, nah, man, we don't need to be playing that R&B stuff and all that, man. You gotta stick with the jazz. It's like, I'm just not like that. I love hearing all the different sounds and flavors and then incorporating what you learn because everything's going to be jazz influenced.
Sure.
I can't help it, but then I love incorporating that in like pop and R&B and dance.
Hmm.
Because I have those elements on my album,
Hmm.
which when you get introduced to it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's got a whole lot of flavor.
But Kool and the Gang was very, very good with that, because like
Absolutely.
the Isaac Brothers, you went from decade to decade. There's
Yeah.
some groups that really, when music changed, they went right with it.
Yeah.
They just had hit after hit, and you're one of
Yeah.
those. Kool and Gang is one
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
those.
we're fortunate. I was gonna sometimes we go down, because okay, we do these shows and they're different lengths. And then a lot of times I'll look at because people go, okay, what's gonna be the set list? Because I'm the one. So the list of songs stays the same, the order stays the same, but some songs
Mhm.
in, some songs might be out based on the length of time we're supposed to play. But also I kind of check out the demographics, like, ooh, so like for instance, when we just did what was the last thing? We were in Virginia, Portsmouth.
Mhm.
We just did it Saturday night, and they were ready for the funk. So it was like,
Oh, wow.
I mean, it
Okay.
was like
So you
you
had to
need to
bring
get to
it.
that funk quick.
Yeah, you had to
So
dive into
yeah, but
it.
so I could just tell it's like, okay, one of the songs we usually do earlier in the show, it's more it's misled, right? So it's kind of rock oriented with a really, really driving groove. So I took
Right.
that one out, left Joanna in because I could tell there's still some folks out there that's gonna want to hear Joanna because it's
Of
just
course.
right. Uh, and then yeah, we got right to the funk right after Joanna, and I mean,
Wow.
oh, it was so much fun. And but then
Oh my
inside
God.
those funk songs, you have the jazz flavorings with the horn part. Like,
Hmm.
okay, we actually opened the show, uh, and it's like really bold. We opened the show with Open Sesame.
Really?
And we do. That's like
Wow.
because what
Wow.
the way our show is now, the opening when we have our full production is really telling the story of the guys, uh, how they the beginnings, right?
The
Like
beginning.
the
Hmm.
60s to the 70s. You see the images and them with some of the footage from some of the shows they did, like Soul Train and some of the
Hmm.
and so it's capturing and it's on top, the images are on top of Love the Life You Live. There was a DJ that did a remix and I heard it and I was like, oh, that's gonna be perfect to
Hmm.
be under the images from the late 60s or 70s. And then I just took it and
Hmm.
did some edits and stuff and got with the producer I work with and just really made it just really hot to go with the images. So then
Wow.
we did Open Sesame opening with an orchestra like probably 10 years ago. And I was like, man, this guy, because he's like, no,
Wow.
he put the show together, the order. He's like, you're opening with Open Sesame. I was like, okay, we got you. And it was just,
Yeah.
it's like, because it really illustrates the musicality of Kool and the Gang
That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm
right off the
talking
bat.
musicality.
Like, what do
Yeah.
you let's go.
And I
So
would love that. I mean, that was just like open sesame. Oh God. Yeah,
start with Open
that's
Sesame.
just
Crazy.
wow.
It's so
Wow.
exciting. It's so exciting. So I hope you get to see the current show and the full production because it really is captivating because it tells a story, and then we
Hmm.
stay within the beginning, and then how about this? Next is fresh, or no? Well,
Wow.
actually we do a snippet of pneumonia because I wanted to
Oh,
do it.
wow.
We go deep cut, and that's to actually introduce Kool. So Kool
Cool.
doesn't even start the show.
Wow.
We let the
Really?
star roll in after we set it up. We set it up, and then he comes on. He loves it. I love him loving it, and
Wow.
he
Wow.
actually comes out on pneumonia. That's his.
Wow. Wow. So
And
who
then
does that? Who does the order of the show? I mean, as far
that
as
that's
that's you.
part of
That's
the
you?
yeah, that's me.
Oh my God. You're a genius. You're a master. I mean, you
Oh
know how to
no,
put it
it's
together.
just
You
it's
know
a
how to tell a
feel.
story.
It's just a feel. I go just the feel of it. When I knew that we were gonna do, um, like I said, the images from the beginning of the
Hmm.
band,
Hmm.
and I wanted to stay in that. So, and I know a lot, and actually, some people were kind of like, "Man, we're not gonna start with like Fresh or Tonight," the '80s songs. And I know the energy of those. I realized that. Some people were like, we're not going to start with vocals, like a song that's sung. And I'm thinking, but there's something about staying right in that the beginning
Hmm.
and just let them hear that music because that's who we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, it is.
We're
Yeah.
we're coming.
I
We're going to come right with
love
it.
it.
And so um, I just stuck with it. It's like, it's just something about this feels right. And
Wow.
so that's what,
Wow. You make
and
me
I
want to follow you to your next show.
no, no, you gotta come do it. Well, I don't know if Kazakhstan works in your schedule, but we'll be back in the States.
You're gonna
Uh,
be out of you're gonna be out of the country for the summer?
yeah, we actually, yeah, because when we get back from Kazakhstan, we have about a week and a half off, and then we're gonna go right back go to Europe, and yeah, we'll be over there a month. So
Wow.
I know what
Wow.
you
Wow.
over to Spain or France or Germany, come get it.
Wow. You know what? Your music is global. It's worldwide.
Yeah, we're
You know,
yes,
it's just
yeah,
that's the beauty of your music.
yeah,
It
we're
it
very
it
fortunate.
yeah, yeah. Well, we want you back over here too. So when you think you're coming back this way and
Um,
to the US? Maybe
oh
by
well,
the fall?
yeah, because we do the month in Europe, so we leave the 10th of June, we get back the 13th of July, and then we do some shows in the States, about 5 or 6 shows, then we pop back over to Europe. And then
Mm,
we're always playing the States. We go back to Europe for another 3 weeks, and then right back to the States. So there'll be some,
wow. You'll be
yeah.
back and forth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll have to get Anna to really give me your schedule so
oh for sure, yeah.
we can come to
Yeah.
one of your concerts. I've been to a couple, but I would love to just, just
Oh yeah, you got to
be on
come.
the set with you guys and
It'd be
just,
awesome.
I mean, it's just it would be great.
Yeah,
It would be wonderful. I could talk to you for hours. I know Anna said, well, they was really talking, but you have two people that love music
yeah, this
and
is great.
two musicians, and for
Yeah,
me I'm just soaking it up because to have this time with you, and
yeah,
for my audience to be able to have this time with you is
right.
very important,
Yeah,
because people need to know about icons like yourself, legends like yourself, how the music really started, how you started, and that music it crosses all boundaries,
it really
and
does.
and that it's something you come from your soul,
Right.
and those
Absolutely.
those are the things that are everlasting. I mean, Kool and the
Yeah.
Gang will be around forever. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll be in other dimensions, and other
Yeah.
aliens
No.
will say, "Oh yeah, Kool and the
Yeah.
Gang."
Oh, for sure. One of the things too with that though, Cool is having so much fun. I just love watching him jam. Think about it.
Yeah.
He's playing the six. I mean, we're still throwing in songs from like late '60s because
Hmm.
we dig,
Wow.
and then he's still doing the '80s and he's just thumping that bass and he's just having so much fun.
Wow.
I love
Wow.
watching
Wow.
enjoy
Wow.
it.
Wow.
And people are enjoying watching him just go for it.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
been
Yeah, and congratulations with the induction,
oh,
the
oh
R&B
thanks. Yeah,
Hall
yeah,
of
yeah.
Fame. I really, really, I mean, that year when that was last year, right? It was
Yeah,
last year, right?
yeah, yeah,
I said, oh my God, finally, Kool and the Gang, Chaka
yeah,
Khan. I mean, my God, I mean, those were, I mean, I said, finally,
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
the best year.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the best induction.
Oh yeah. And sure, we would have loved for the founders to actually be there, but the timing is what the timing is, so their spirit is there and the
Yeah,
accomplishment is being recognized. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. So how does that feel? How does it feel to
Oh,
finally be inducted?
it was amazing. And then JT was singing. It was like, I don't know if you saw the show, but he did the
Yeah.
set. So, because I miss him, he did, he's the man. There's no way around it. That's a bad boy. So it was
I
good to
know,
see him.
right? I'm telling you.
Yeah, it
I'm
was good to
telling you.
see him, hear him, and the crowd was going, oh, bananas.
Nuts. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. That show was bouncing off the screen.
Yeah.
That it was like, so many, legends there. It was one of the best, induction
Oh yeah,
performances I've ever experienced.
that was incredible. Yeah.
Everybody was talking about it too,
Wow.
so cool, so cool.
Yeah.
So what's up for you next? I know you got to go, but what's up for you next, and how can people follow your career on social media? Because now people's going to say, hey, you didn't tell about the social media part. We want to follow him and
Oh,
all
thank you.
that and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So I want to know what's up with you, and then how can we follow you on social
I
media, got
get
Kool and the Gang and yourself.
Yeah, so obviously I'll be doing the Kool and the Gang shows, but I'm really, really happy and proud of my project is completely finished. The
Mhm.
album's called Fitzgerald is Back, and it really covers everything.
Wow.
It's got everything on it. And social media wise, IG is CFW716. So it's CFW716, or if you just look at my name, Curtis Williams, you'll find me. And I pop the different travels and all that stuff on there, and then I'll be, giving little snippets of what I've been doing in the studio. And just working with different artists and always
Mhm.
creating um and just enjoying life and the again the joy and blessings of being able to give beautiful music to people and then receive the love they get from it. So,
Yeah, yeah. So such a wonder, such a blessing to speak to you and meet
thank you.
you online. And I hope to see you in person soon. And
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah, we'll
know,
make sure Anna gets you the itinerary. You just wherever you want to go, you just come through. We got you.
I would love that. I would love that. That would be
Much
a
love.
blessing for me. And I'm gonna let you go because I will sit here and talk about the next song
No,
or
it's all
something
good. I
like
love
that.
it. Yeah.
Something like that.
Anytime. Anytime.
Yeah, yeah, but I would like for you to come back when your album's released and
Okay.
your music's released, so we can do something on that, and maybe I can meet you someplace and we can sit down and do a listening thing.
Oh,
That
I
would be
love that.
awesome. That would be an
Yeah, because
awesome.
there's some deep surprises on it. People will be, you know what? I won't even give it away now. So it'll be fun,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go through them and just enjoy that because
yeah,
it was a lot of fun putting it together.
yeah. Well, to be a musical director is a special thing. You are the heart of the band. I mean, you have the bass, you have the drums and all of that, but for me, as a singer, I mean, the
Yeah.
keyboard pulls, pulls it together,
Yeah.
for me, just to hear those notes
Yep.
and things,
Yep.
and you set the tone,
That's it. And the guys
you
still
set
they
the
go,
tone, you set
yeah,
the
they're like,
tone.
oh, he can hear me not do that. It's like, yeah, man, I heard it. Nah,
I
but
know,
we
right?
yeah,
I know. You said, okay, turn it down, turn it down.
yeah, yeah.
Look over there, one look.
Yeah, that's it.
One look, one look. And before I let you go, I wanted to
Oh
say
yeah.
a little bit about the jazz thing, and as far as vocalists and singers, Aretha Franklin was a jazz singer. Aretha
Oh yeah.
Franklin
That
almost
gospel.
became
Oh,
a jazz singer, and it's
right.
so incredible when I did research on her. I
Yeah.
mean, she's a singer that could do
Oh,
opera,
yes. Oh,
everything.
oh,
She was the
yeah,
queen of soul. She
yeah.
was a queen of soul. And Chaka's like that too. Chaka has a jazz feel to her. I can
Love
hear
it.
Chaka on her album. She has this jazz feel. She has
Yep.
a natural jazz
Yeah.
feel in her voice.
Oh, for
And
sure.
it exemplifies what you were talking about, how musicality goes across the board, and
Oh yeah.
so yeah, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. All right now. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming onto my show. I really appreciate it. It
I
was
love
like
it.
a real joy for me and a blessing, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Peggy. It was quite a joy for me too. And let's do it
Yeah.
again.
Well, we
Whenever.
will definitely, definitely,
Definitely come
definitely.
check us out because you'd have a great time.
Oh, you know me, I'll be dancing through the whole thing.
Yeah. Get going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So thanks a lot. Peggy Dodson with Urban Access. I am just floored and so blessed to be here. And we'll be right back next time, everybody. Okay, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
right.
Bye.
All right. Woo.